Hey everybody. Alright, so we got our crank and our rods back from the machine shop for the 454, as well as some bearings, and I've got a bunch of other parts over there piled up on the tire machine, and I did get the hydraulic roller cam the other day. That came in, I want to say it's 570 intake and 544 maybe exhaust. It's got a lot of duration. It's one of those mother thumpers, so it should sound pretty good. Hopefully it runs decent. I'm not trying to build a 10-second car here, so, but anyways, got the crank back, and I think just for safekeeping, so I don't knock it over and score it, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the block. When I actually start assembling everything, then I'll go ahead and do a video on it, or I may just add to this one. But like I said, just to keep it safe for now, I'm going to go ahead and put that crank in. So I just thought I'd turn this thing on and let you guys know what I'm doing, and when I get the crank back in there, I will turn this thing back on. Alright, got the crank in there. I left the ends here loose because it's going to have to come back out anyways. I don't have the seal that goes on the back here, so I didn't put that in, so it's going to have to come back out. But like I said, main thing was, it turns nice and easy. Main thing is just getting it off the floor, because it probably won't be assembled for quite a while, and I don't want to take the chance of knocking it over. So this way it's in there, it's bagged up, everything's good. But anyways, I will go ahead and probably just save this part, and then as I start assembling, we'll just go ahead and add to it. So, but anyways, I will turn this back on when I start doing some more work. Thanks. Hey everybody, alright, so back out here in the garage working on the 454 a little bit. Actually I did a few things which I did not turn the camera on. I should have, sorry. Got the freeze plugs in. Some silicone I need to clean up, but they're in there. And I did get that rear main seal in as well. Got the pistons, there we go, pressed on. So they're ready to go. And as you can see, camshaft showed up. What I went with was a Comp Cams. It's one of the mother thumper lines. Thumpa, I guess is what they say, not thumper. And it is, I don't know if that's going to come out, but 570 on the intake, 554 on the exhaust, and at 50 thousandths, 243 on the intake and 257 on the exhaust. I want to say the RPM range, if I remember right, was 2300, something like that, up to 61. So for what I'm going to use this thing for, it'll be good. And I got the lifters as well. I did not get a spring kit because the heads I have, they're supposed to be good to 580 lift. So, and that's 570 on the intake. So I'm hoping that they work out. Plan today is just to put number one cylinder in, number one piston in the number one cylinder, and then put that cam in, and I'm going to go ahead and put the timing set on, kind of get that cam degreed in just to see what kind of clearance I'm going to have on the cylinder head. So for today, like I said, get that number one piston in, get the timing set on with the cam in there and the lifters, and probably get the cam degreed in, and that'll probably be it for today. And then I'll get back out here, put the head on, and start checking clearances. But anyway, so let me actually stop talking and get some work done. I'll turn this thing back on in just a bit. Thanks. Alright, so I got our piston ring set in there, and for this piston, manufacturer recommends factory gap of 16 and 40% increase, so a 22 thousandths gap is what they recommend. So I'm going to go ahead and I got my little feeler gauge right here. I just don't think I can do it all in one shot, so I'm going to go ahead and measure this, and I will let you know what happens. Alright, so we're right at 16 thousandths. I am going to go ahead and take this thing out and file 6 thousandths off of it, and take another shot at it. Be back in a minute. Okay, so I got her opened up to 22 thousandths. I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed and hold the camera. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens here. There we go. As you can see, it's in there. Feels pretty good. Not too tight, not too loose. And we got a 16. And can't really see that one, but it's a 6. So that should put us at 22, what they recommend. Alright, I'm going to keep going on this thing, get the rings on the pistons. It's just the top groove that they recommended expanding or opening up a little bit, so the other two are fine. I'm going to go ahead and put those rings on there now and put the bearing in. I'll go ahead and set that piston down in there, and I'll turn this thing back on in just. Alright, got our rings in there, got our expander ready, got our bearing, other bearing, and we got our crankshaft way at the bottom there on the farthest away I can get it, so I don't have to worry too much about hitting it. But I'm going to go ahead and put some oil in the cylinder, oil up those rings, get it in the compressor, knock that thing in, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, got that number 1 piston in there. That thing has got, looks like a lot of a dome to me. I've always ran flat tops, so let's see how everything clears. But like I said, that cam's 570, 554. It's got quite a bit of duration on it. A couple of guys that I know that do big block stuff were saying probably going to be okay, but obviously you need to check it, so I am going to go ahead and check it. But yeah, like I said, that dome looks pretty hefty on there to me. But anyways, kind of thinking I'm not going to have time to degree the camshaft today, and rather than worry about getting the other half of the journal here with junk on it, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that second piston in, number 2 cylinder over here. That way it stays clean and I don't have to worry about it. And the other ones, like I said, I can just clean them up when I get to that. But so anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that second piston in there, and I'll turn this thing back on in just a bit. Alright, so I got the second piston in there. I'm going to go ahead and lay the camshaft in there and the lifters. Well, camshaft at least, yeah. And then I don't know if I'll put the timing set on today or not, but anyways, like I said, because I don't have a lot of time, but at least I got that second piston in, and I'm going to go ahead and continue forward for just a few more minutes, so I'll turn this thing back on then. Thanks. Alright, so here is the hydraulic roller. Didn't come with any assembly lube because I'm guessing rollers don't need it, but just for my own sanity, since I've never used a hydraulic roller, I put a little bit of bearing guard on all the lubes, just so there's a little something there, a little lubrication when it first starts rolling, or if it's setting for a while, I don't get condensation, anything crazy going on in there. But I'm going to go ahead and start setting that thing in, so I'll be back in a minute. Alright, camshaft is in, got the timing set on. I'm going to get out my degree wheel and start checking and see where this cam is set up, see if we're on or if we got to make some adjustments, but I'll be back in just a bit. Alright, well that took a little while, but finally got it. So I've got 11 degrees before tap dead center and 11 degrees after when I travel from 50 thousandths to 0 on either side. So we are at true top dead center once I put this thing on 0 now. And then I'm going to go ahead and move over to the intake valve and continue on. Alright, I'm going to continue to check this, but so far it's looking good. I've got this zeroed out on the base circle of the camshaft, and as you can see down there, the lobe's way over there, so I just checked it. It was actually right on the money, so I'm going to go ahead and roll this thing over, continue to 6 thousandths, which is going to be right there. Let me keep my finger straight right there. Anyways, there's a 10.05, so you guys can figure it out. But I'm going to go ahead and roll it over to 6 thousandths. And then according to our cam sheet here, valve timing at 6 thousandths, the intake should be at 46 degrees, which I just did it a minute ago. It was, like I said, right on the money. I just wanted to show you guys, and then I will continue to check these numbers, but so far it looks like it's going to be right on. So anyways, let me rotate that 6 degrees and I'll turn this back on. Alright, so as you can see, we're at 6 thousandths tappet lift on the intake side, and the degree wheel is showing us 46 degrees, which according to our sheet here at 6 thousandths lift. Intake should be opening at 46 degrees, so that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and continue checking everything, but so far so good. I'll turn this back on in just a bit. Alright, so I've probably showed you guys this before because I think I did a video where I degreed the cam in the El Camino. So this is my little cheat sheet. Bought this thing years and years ago from Lunati directly, and it goes about the whole thing of how to degree the camshaft. And I'm actually down right here now on 4, and I went ahead and wrote down the information on the other little sheet that they give you. So I had 55, 149.5, which gives me a center line of 102.25, and manufacturer here is 102.0. So I am not going to worry about 0.25, 1/4 of 1 degree. To me that's right where it needs to be, so I'm going to go ahead and keep working forward. But like I said, that's what I use. I use this thing because I don't do it all day every day, so but so far, like I said, everything on the spec sheet is looking good. So but I'm going to go ahead and continue, and I'll turn this back on in just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to move on to checking duration on this cam. The cheat sheet I got, you need to flip this thing over because there's different stuff on the other side. This goes to 180, the other side goes to 360. So I just went ahead and set this thing back up at 0. I'm going to loosen the nut up, flip it over, and it'll be at 0 again on the other side, top dead center. Put this thing back and continue on. Alright, got this thing flipped over and we're still at 0, top dead center. So I am going to go ahead and check the duration and see what we get. I'll turn this back on in just a bit. Okay, we are at 6 thousandths tappet lift on the intake side, and if we look at the degree wheel here, we are at 299, which, looking at our sheet here, at 6 thousandths tappet lift duration should be 299, so we are good. So this cam, actually looking like where it's set up right here, is exactly where it's supposed to be, right on 0, and everything is checking out. I'm going to go ahead and move everything over to the exhaust side, which means finding top dead center again, going through all of this rigmarole, but I'm going to call this a video for now, and when I get back to, if there's anything funky on the exhaust side, I'll turn this back on, but from what I'm seeing so far, I think everything's going to check out fine. But like I said, if there is anything strange, I'll go ahead and turn this back on, but if not, I'm going to call this a video, and once I start laying the heads on and doing all that stuff, getting the rest of the pistons in, I'll turn it back on. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.